Hello, I'm Cornelius Jones, the founder of Renew Your Counseling Services, and I also develop biblical focus therapy, which I identify as BFT. BFT, the objective of BFT is rather simple. It is to help the individual that are experiencing some difficulties in their life to be able to function through the mental, emotional distress by helping them to become more spiritually aware of what's taking place with them. And one way that I'm able to do that is by through meditation, as well as this therapeutic approach that I have implemented. For example, if I'm dealing with a person who is angry, they're having anger issues, so meditation would be appropriate. But also, I help them to look at what the Word of God has to say. Now, with biblical focus therapy, there it is important for me to identify that just because it's biblical focused therapy, it doesn't mean that it's not a benefit for people who may not consider themselves to be Christians. In fact, Christian is a word that was derived once Jesus had already departed this earth. It is not in the Bible. So I don't want anyone to get caught up on the name biblical focused therapy, because you can still be a student of the Bible without being a particular a part of a particular religious group. So let's not get hung up on that part. But if they're dealing with anxiety, for example, there are 15 different verses in the Bible that I can utilize. One of the ones that I can think of is John 14 and 27. That's one of the verses that can help a person who's dealing with some anxiety. And then I incorporate with that them being able to do a stop technique. And with the stop technique, it helps them to breathe properly, slow down the negative emotions that they're having, do some self-talking, calm themselves down to get back to the place where they need to be in order to move forward. When you think of depression and not wanting to do anything and feeling isolated or want to be alone, well, in the Bible, when it comes to depression, there are 21 different biblical verses that can be utilized for that. Now, ultimately, what I intend to do with this BFT is to introduce it to both faith-based universities as well as seminaries, so that students who plan to become biblical or Christian counselors can have something that they can utilize specifically for their own scope of practice, instead of trying to keep up with all of the different therapeutic approaches that's currently in psychotherapy. I, for one, do not believe in the diagnosis. I believe that we can all get to the root cause simply by examining what has taken place in our lives and what is going on in our lives. It is not intended to place diagnosis, labels, or judgment on anyone. It's really intended to help them to be able to understand that what they are experiencing is a part of the human experience itself, and God already knew that we would run into certain challenges, and He placed it in the Word of God. So what biblical focused therapy does, it brings that out, and it helps people to understand that it's okay to have setbacks in life and to have problems and hiccups without having to believe that they are mentally challenged or a broken toy, as most of the current diagnosis will leave a person to do. I'm not a man that believes much in medication, because medication, they all have side effects, and these side effects can have negative effects for years to come after a person has been using psychotropics. So that is my take on it. If you have any questions, any concerns, any input, or want to learn more on how I actually deal with clients in my office using this approach, please don't be shy. I'm open for any feedback or criticism, and I look forward to having biblical focused therapy recognized one day, just like every other therapeutic approach. So, Christian counselor, pastor,